Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. So I got around to seeing the movie that I was really looking forward to, and it's called TRON ARES. This is supposed to be the director who made the Maleficent sequel, and he directed the latest Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's No Tales, and I was a little bit worried going into it when I found out that this is the man directing the third TRON movie, and I'm a guy who has loved TRON Legacy, the sequel to the original TRON. I thought the movie was so very underrated. I know not a lot of people really loved it that much, but I'm one of the people that thought that was a peak film, and that movie was directed by Joseph Kosinski, who directed Top Gun Maverick, and I thought what he did on that film was awesome. I love that film. Sure, the de-aging of Jeff Bridges for the younger version who played Clue, who was the main villain of that film, was not that great at that time. But overall, I thought that movie was awesome, and I liked the original Tron movie. I just don't think the movie holds up, and I thought the film was very dated, especially the visual effects itself. And maybe when I go back and watch the original film again on the 4K remastered on Disney Plus, I might change my tune. But for years and years, for the past 15 years, ever since Tron Legacy, Disney has been trying so hard to get the third movie off the ground, and they couldn't figure out how do we make the third film proper sequel to Tron Legacy. Because the last film did not perform well. It underperformed at the box office. And we're always wondering, are people, the casual movie-going audience, even really care about the source material? Even though I'm one of the people that really wanted another Tron movie. I thought it had a lot of potential of the whole lore and the mythology of the cyberspace of the grid and the characters like the Flynn family. I wanted to explore that in the third film. And it's been a long, long time. And now, out of nowhere, a few years ago, they announced that they were going to do a third movie, and Jared Leto was going to be the leading character. And you're following Jared Leto's character named ARES, who is a malfunctioning program who's supposed to be the best of the best, who wants to go into the real world and try to become a real person and become more than what he was programmed to become a servant. That's really what the story is. And a lot of the Jared Leto haters out there really were bagging on him because not a lot of people really like Jared Leto as an actor or as a person, really. And I'm one of the people that think he's a really damn good actor. He's an Academy Award winning actor who won for Best Supporting Role for Dallas Buyers Club. Sure, his Joker portrayal wasn't the best, even though in the Suicide Squad back in 2016, he was barely in the film as much. I thought how they handled Joker in Zack Snyder's Justice League, I thought they did it justice, even though he wasn't in the film as much. It was more of a cameo. And lately, he has been in a lot of mediocre roles, and we're always wondering, when is he ever going to be in a good role again? Because, yeah, I think he has a great potential. And I will say that after coming out of the theater of Tron ARES, I will say that I thought it was pretty okay. The movie had mixed reviews, and I was a little bit worried, but here are my positives that I will get right off the way. I thought the visual effects, the action set pieces, the fight scenes, the disc battle, the light cycle battle chase scenes in the real world was absolutely flawless. It was peak. They did a great job of putting a lot of effort into the sequences of the visual effects. The CGI were flawless. There's not one that stood out like a sore thumb. Even the music score that was done by Nine Inch Nails was pretty decent, even though I don't think it was as good as the Daft Punk from Tron Legacy, because I thought the Daft Punk score was the best because it was memorable, it was something that I can hum to, and it was something that I can listen to over and over again on my Spotify playlist. But the Nine Inch Nails was kind of one of the weakest music score. It tries to be more consistent to the Tron Legacy vibe of that score. And we were all excited that Nine Inch Nails was going to be the one scoring the movie. And like I said before, the visual effects were absolutely flawless. The performances was really good. Jared Leto did a good job at trying to do the best he could of how he was written in the movie, and tried his best to try to carry the film. And there were some great throwbacks to the original Tron movie when, spoiler alert, even though it's not really much of a spoiler because it's in the promos, they've already revealed that in the marketing, that the ARES went into the original server of Kevin Flynn from the original Tron of the whole the visual effects, and they brought that back in the retrospective. And I thought that was great, that big of a throwback. And it was great to see Jeff Bridges' character, Kevin Flynn, to return, even though that he's technically an AI program with all of his memories and his consciousness. And if you know where I'm getting it from, you know, which he was basically the version of Jor-El in the Superman lore, if you really think about it when you watch that film. He's not in the film much, but I thought he did a decent job of serving the story. But here's the biggest weaknesses that I thought that was really scratching my head around. The story, the idea the execution was so weak. The characters were very poorly written. Even this new character, Greta Lee, who plays Eve Kim, which she's falling into the Flynn income industry as the CEO after Sam Flynn, which is the son of Kevin Flynn, left the company for personal reasons, even though they never addressed why he did in the first place. And I thought her character felt very wooden and dry. Sure, but she had a backstory about the tragedy of her sister, of what happened, but at the end of the day, I wish I could have cared about her more. I just don't think she was that charismatic. I didn't think she really couldn't carry the movie on her own. The chemistry between her and Jared Leto was the weakest. It just felt so flat and rushed. And Evan Peters, as much as I love Evan Peters, who's playing the grandson of the Dillinger family, who is the one who is using using the programs to become their super soldiers and bring them over to the real world, and make sure he gets richer than ever when he sells it to the military. And his character doesn't add any gravitas. His performance was amazing because I'm a big Evan Peters fan, but his performance was just a twirly mustache obvious villain with no layers to him whatsoever. I wish there was a little bit more to him. There was really that much that they did with him in that movie. And I love Evan Peters. He's an incredible actor, and I wish they could have handled him better. And I thought that the Eve's buddies of her from the income industry, her character supporting characters were so caricature. They were so flat out dull. I did not care whatsoever. The storyline with Ares been wanting to become a real person instead of just being something that he was programmed to. He was basically the version of Pinocchio. And I thought his arc was so rushed out and so predictable. And that the way, and when you get to that destination in the third act, I just didn't feel like it paid off, and I didn't feel it was very earned. It looked like it could have been earned. If you would have done it well and built it up the correct way, it would have been great. And they kind of have a hard time to try to balance to jumping back from the real world and jumping back to the grid. I feel like we don't get a lot of time in the grid, because when you watch the first two Tron movies, throughout the whole movie, you only get a little bit of time in the real world where you see the main characters go into the grid, into the cyberspace, basically more of the Alice in Wonderland situation, and you only get a little time in the real world. And they try to balance it out by bringing the programs into the real world and how that would play out. I wish they could have done a little bit more. I wish they would have found a way to balance that, we could get a little bit more time in the grid, even though we did for the most part, but not as much. But all I'm saying is that I thought the film was very entertaining for the most parts, because they deliver the great visual effects, CGI, and action. They put a lot of hard work into it, and I will give them credit where credit's due. I just wish they would have worked on the script and give us a good story. And I wish, and I know this is a bit of a wishful thinking and maybe sounding like I'm a selfish fan, but they should have made Sam Flynn as the main character and have Cora be the main characters as well. They should have done a proper Tron Legacy sequel. I wish they could have, because right now I didn't really care too much about the Ares character. I didn't care about Eve. They were so one note, completely bland. Even though the acting was good, I just don't think the characters were that well written, and I didn't think they were able to carry it. But there is a mid-credit scene, and if you're one of those people that want to see the movie and you want to see the mid-credit scene, it does have a setup for the fourth film. But unfortunately, this movie, I think it made like $60 million on opening weekend, and it looks like, according to the box office, it's underperforming, and it doesn't seem like that they're going to have any intention to try to make another Tron movie. I would love to have another Tron movie, because it looks like when you watch the mid-credit scene, they are literally setting up the sequel. And I would be curious to see where it goes. I will say that if you're one of those people that want to rush out to see Tron Ares, I won't say don't fall out of your heels to rush out it so quickly, because you'll have some good entertainment moments in that movie, but it's not, the story and the characters are going to not be as satisfying as you expected. And I wish they did. I really was hoping for the best. I was one of the people that was really looking forward to it, and when you saw my trailer reaction, you know that I was very hyped for Tron Ares. But overall, it was an okay movie at its best. There's some good stuff in it and good ideas, but the execution felt very weak. I'm going to give this movie a 6 out of 10. That's literally my generous rating. So anyway, what did you think of Tron Ares? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you like this review, make sure you hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notification so you know when my videos are up. And if you want to follow my social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram and Twitter, the link tree will be down in the description down below. Anyway, Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, great evening, wherever you're from, and stay tuned for more of my content.